Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense, making sense out of the senseless, only on shrmedia.com. Conservative media done right. This is the show where we don't pull punches, don't play nice with propaganda, and definitely don't waste time pretending the left is just misguided. No, they know exactly what they're doing, and it's time we call it what it really is: organized national sabotage. Welcome everybody in the chat already. Thank you for being here. I appreciate everyone. I'm your host, and tonight we're slicing through the gaslighting, the lawfare, and the open war on sanity that now defines American politics. We've got ICE agents under siege, pardons being handed out by robot pens, and judges. Crap, they're on my head. I'm having issues with my headset, and it's pissing me off. All right, yeah. There we go. Judges bending the Constitution to protect criminals while tying the hands of the very people trying to keep us safe. We talk about a media so drunk on its own lies that 60% of Democrats still believe in Trump-Russia collusion. And we're in 2025 here, people. We'll expose sanctuary city madness, cartel-protected cannabis farms, and a DOJ that stays silent while $1 million bounties are posted on Supreme Court justices. This isn't just mismanagement, it's ideological warfare. The goal is chaos. The method is inversion. Punish the innocent. Empower the corrupt. Criminalize the truth. But not on this show. Tonight, we're not just reporting it. We're burning it down, brick by propaganda brick, because you're not crazy, you're not extreme, and you're not alone. You're just awake, and you're exactly where you need to be. This is Reaver of Common Sense, where truth lives, the spend die screaming, and America fires never goes out. And before we go any further, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and share the stream like your freedom depended on it, because it just might. Every click helps us punch through big tech censorship, drown out the media noise, and make sure common sense has a fighting chance. This is the Reaver of Common Sense, where truth lives and the nonsense dies screaming. Discord's going to piss me off. Now I can't even hear myself. There we go. Sean's probably going to be late as normal. Has to make a dramatic entrance. BZ, I'm not sure. I know he hasn't been feeling well lately. Trump gave the green light and ICE delivered. Over 1,300 criminal aliens were arrested in Houston, including 23 child predators, 9 killers, with coordinated operations across Texas, California, and Arizona. These weren't harmless border crossers. They were gang members, traffickers, and fugitives shielded by sanctuary policies. One raid on a cartel-connected cannabis farm in Northern California netted 300 illegal workers, including a convicted child predator who had been released by a local district attorney. Let me repeat that. A convicted child predator who had been released by a local district attorney. In Los Angeles, ICE agents dismantled gang safe houses, seized military-grade weapons, Phoenix saw fentanyl trafficking rings busted with narcotics, firearms, and over $1 million in cartel cash seized. This isn't a sting. It was a message. The era of progressive protection for criminals is over. Trump's DHS restored law enforcement confidence. No handcuffs on the agents. No apologies to the radicals. Trump's DOJ even partnered with local sheriffs to capture fugitive felons, like the murderer hiding in Georgia's food plant that ignored ICE detainers. While CNN and blue state governors cried fascism, communities got safer. These weren't just arrests. They were wins for justice. But what did ICE agents get in return? Not medals, not protection. They're getting doxxed, harassed, and hunted in their own homes. That's not just betrayal. It's treasonous. Let's get into the escalating war being waged against the very people enforcing the law. We've reached a breaking point. And if you care about the rule of law, now is the time to pay attention. ICE agents are under siege. ICE agents are under siege. According to the Department of Homeland Security, assaults on immigration and custom enforcement officers have spiked nearly 700% since January. You heard that right. To be exact, 690% increase in attacks, with a 79 recorded assaults compared to just 10 in the same period last year. 79 recorded assaults compared to just 10 in the same period last year. How you doing, Canada Heavy Hauler? Thank you for being here. And the only thing Democrats want to do is unmask ICE so that more can get doxxed. This isn't random. It's targeted. And it's being driven by Antifa-linked extremists, an anarchist group who's decided that enforcing immigration law is now grounds for violence. Antifa is the new enforcement arm of the Democrat Party. I shouldn't say new because they've been around for a while now, and Democrats have been using them. But, CNN, MSNBC, they don't report on this. They want this kept quiet. So let's break it down. In Portland, two radical organizations, Rose City Counter Info and the Crustacean Daily, have been caught doxing ICE agents. They have been caught doxing ICE agents, publishing their names, photos, home address, and family information along messages like "No peace for ICE" and "Chinga la migra." These are not protests. These are open calls for violence and harassment. And these threats aren't staying online. We're talking about homes vandalized, trash dumped on doorsteps, threatening flyers taped to windows, phone numbers posted publicly. And yes, ICE agents shot at during operations. This isn't civil disobedience. It's domestic terrorism, plain and simple. And as this is happening, cartels and gangs are watching. DHS officials have confirmed that transnational criminal organizations are exploiting the information leaked by these radical groups to target agents and their families. And again, Democrats are trying to dox even more ICE agents, knowing this threat is out there. This is what the Democrat bill will cause. It will cause these officers to be doxxed, their families put in danger, because they think it's going to get them political points. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute, too, because I'm going to show you just how sick and depraved. Hang on. 2 articles I came across. I'm trying to find both of them again. That would be the easy way to do it, you dumbass. Sometimes I just want to smack myself in the head. And there we go. Let me mute this. So, there we go. Sorry about that. I wasn't going to do it, and then I changed my mind at the last moment. There's 2 articles I'm going to read through that are tied to this. And also, this is happening. As this is happening, I mean, Democrats are trying to dox these law enforcement officials. There's a reason they wear masks. And they're going out there with rhetoric that's endangering their lives even more with the Gestapo and Nazi. Let me tell you, I start hearing that shit from somebody and I just tune them right out, because you're not out there for a civil conversation. You're out there to try to slander and demean these officers, and you're trying to intimidate them. You're trying to intimidate them so that they give up their jobs, back down from enforcing our laws. And that's what the Democrats want, because they need these illegals here. There's no 2 steps. They need them here. It's been talked about plenty of times. If enough of these illegals get deported from California, California can lose 5 House members. They will lose electoral votes on top of it. That's just California. We're not talking about Chicago. Well, Illinois, New York. You know, these states will start to lose representatives, and then the Democrat Party will lose their power. And the left's so-called anti-fascists are effectively doing the scouting work for drug cartels. Seriously, let that sink in. Democrats are doing the work for cartels. They're helping cartels target these ICE members and their family. And while federal law enforcement is under siege, Democrat politicians are fanning the flames. You got Cory Booker comparing ICE agents to Gestapo thugs. I lost the screen. You got Gavin Newsom denouncing federal raids on child labor cannabis farms that had child sexual predators working there, all of them illegal. And you know what's going out in the news? A man died during the ICE raids. They don't tell you that the guy was wanted and ran from the cops and tried jumping from one building to another. He caused his own death. And that wasn't an ICE-led raid. That was an FBI-led raid. They were executing a warrant for other stuff. So, the disinformation that's coming from the media, which is normal, is just getting sickening, repulsive, and disgusting. Karen Bass is vowing to protect her city from Border Patrol. And let me translate. Karen Bass is going to try to obstruct immigration for illegal people that are here illegally. Democrats are actively trying to help criminals. They're trying to subvert justice and obstruct law enforcement. Tim Walz, Hakeem Jeffries, promising to identify ICE agents and hold them accountable. Hold them accountable from what? Doing their jobs? Enforcing federal laws that Congress put in. Congress put these laws in. And these people are tasked with enforcing the laws that Congress passed. And you have congressmen that are trying to now obstruct it because it's hurting them politically. Now, let's be clear. This isn't just disgusting. This is dangerous. When elected officials demonize law enforcement while violent radical post kill list, the line between rhetoric and real-world violence disappears. And that line's been gone because their rhetoric has been translated into real-world violence. And these Democrats are too goddamn stupid to get it through their heads. They're doubling down, tripling down on it. But what is DHS doing? Secretary Kristi Noem has publicly vowed to prosecute every doxer to the full extent of the law, saying the public release of our agent's identity is not free speech. It's targeted intimidation. It's illegal and will not tolerate it. Good, but let's be honest. This should not have gotten this far. We should not have elected officials endangering our law enforcement. These are the same people that cried for the last 5 years and still cry to this day about January 6th. As they've put more law enforcement lives endangered than anything that happened on January 6th. You have officers being shot, rocks thrown at them. Anybody? Oh, it's just little rocks being. Let someone throw a rock and hit it in your head. Let someone throw a rock at your head and see what you think afterwards, if you can think after that happens. I'm not saying go out there and do it. Being hypothetical here, people. Do you know what somebody? Oh, I got sue because I had a friend throw a rock at my head and I'm now retarded. If you don't think it's dangerous throwing rocks at people, and they're throwing more than rocks, they're throwing bricks, concrete slabs. It's getting dangerous out there, people, and the Democrats just keep doubling and tripling down on it. And we're just getting started, folks. More truth, more receipts, and a whole lot more sense coming up after the break. Don't go anywhere. This is the Reaver of Common Sense, and we are nowhere near done yet.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Ooh, whoa. Wrong button.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Ever dream of escaping the daily grind? At Escapist Travel and Tours, we make those dreams your reality. From breathtaking adventures to cultural immersions, we offer escapes tailored just for you. Let us take you to places where every moment feels like a new chapter in your life's adventure. Visit www.escapist.travel or call us today at 1-855-885-81776. Your escape awaits.
Attention, all patriotic women of faith. Yep, I'm talking to you, sis. Are you looking for high-quality, super soft apparel that reflects your love for country and your devotion to God? Look no further than Carry Girl Gear. Picture this. You rocking a tee so soft it's like being hugged by a cloud, all while showing off your love for God and country. Sounds dreamy, right? Well, welcome to reality, babes, because that's what we're all about here at Carry Girl Gear. We specialize in super soft tees, tanks, and more, designed specifically for the strong, patriotic woman who proudly wants to carry their message of faith and freedom. When you shop with us, you're not just getting a t-shirt. You're joining a community of like-minded women who are proud to wear their beliefs straight on their tees. So whether you're sipping sweet tea on the porch or leading the charge for faith and freedom, do it in a Carry Girl tee. Because life's too short for stiff, boring tees. CarryGirl.com, where faith and freedom meets fashion.
Come listen to BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon Radio Show. Live on select and exclusive Tuesday and Thursday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central, and 8 p.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Rumble channel, SHR Media YouTube channel, X, Twitch, Spreaker, and wherever great conservative podcasts are found. BZ, your conservative Sherpa, guides you through the maelstrom of Democrat, leftist, and globalist lies, chaos, deceit, and betrayal. Raised as a free-range child with dirt, stains, mud, and freedom, BZ broadcasts from North Idaho, comfortably surrounded by actual normal people. Jump into our plush, sumptuous, palatial, and resplendent chat room on rumble.com. Click on live chat to join. Now, with 37% more umbrage and 19% more bulbosity than previous shows, featuring delicious Liberty additives for the best in late-night conservatarian talk radio. BZ reminds you that with great beard comes great responsibility. No chinchillas were harmed, embarrassed, fat-shamed, or the focus of any sarcasm whatsoever in the making of this ad.
What is the Edge of Liberty? News, politics, commentary, sarcasm, alcohol, and high blood pressure. It's as American as a good revolution. So tune in every Monday and Friday at 12 Pacific, 3 p.m. on the East Coast on the SHR Media Network and KLRN Radio. For details, visit www.shrmedia.com.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Josie John, here to make sense out of the senseless right here on shrmedia.com. Conservative media done right. You do us a favor, hit that like button, smash the subscribe, and share this stream like your freedom depended on it, because it just might. Every click helps us punch through big tech censorship, drown out the media noise, and make sure common sense has a fighting chance. This is the Reaver of Common Sense, where truth lives and the nonsense dies screaming. You gotta love the liberals that jump in and make a comment, kind of like Ron, make stupid comments about Trump and Epstein. It's been said plenty of times and proven. If Trump had 1 ounce of connection to Epstein, besides the 1 or 2 photos that are out there and the AI-generated photographs that the liberals love to push about, the Democrats would have burned the whole system down just to get Trump. I mean, look at what they've done, the extent they've gone after him. So coming in and making a comment about that makes you look like a fucking retard. getting back to ICE, that radical left has spent years calling ICE racist, fascist, terrorist, and illegitimate, and now that language has metastasized. What started as campus chants and media smears has evolved into home invasions, assaults, as campus chant, and that's what it started as. And now we got bullets flying. They told us this would never happen. They said, it's just rhetoric, it's online. Well, now federal agents are being hunted. The same media that screamed about threats to democracy doesn't have a damn thing to say. This isn't just about immigration anymore. This is about order versus anarchy. This is about protecting the people who protect us. Enforcing the law should never make you a target. But tonight, ICE agents across the country are having to relocate their families, scrub their digital footprint, and sleep with one eye open, all because they did their job. We must draw the line and draw it hard. Every single anarchist who doxes a federal officer should face federal charges immediately. Every elected official who demonizes ICE should be called out loudly and repeatedly. And every media outlet that downplays these attacks should be held accountable for enabling the culture that spawned them. Again, going to the raids that just happened in California. What did they raid? A pot farm that employed illegal immigrants, child labor, murderers, rapists, child predators. And what does the media run with? Well, a guy died because of the raid. Or you have the ex-military guy that got arrested. He was working security and interfered with law enforcement from doing their jobs, issuing these warrants. This company was being sued for unfair wages, which I thought Democrats were against. They want living wages. Democrats contradict themselves constantly when it comes to this argument. And you're telling me California didn't know what was going on at this place? I'll make a pretty good guess. The owner is a multimillionaire that donates heavily to Governor Gavin Newsom. I can tell you this, if we don't stand up for the law enforcement now, there won't be anyone left willing to wear a badge. This isn't just about ICE. This is about whether we still have a country that respects law and order and the men and women sworn to uphold it. It's weird. I have music playing in the background in the headsets. I know you guys can't hear it due to copyright and all that. But it just stopped. I was, what the hell? And while Antifa goes door to door threatening ICE families, the media is too busy clinging to fairy tales to care. Because believe it or not, nearly 60% of Democrats still believe Trump colluded with Russia. Even after every investigation, every debunking, every confession, it's not just stubborn ignorance. It's weaponized delusions. And you can't make this up. Nearly a decade after the lie was debunked, 60% of Democrats still believe Trump colluded with Russia to win in 2016. After the Mueller investigation, after Dunham, after years of evidence, congressional hearings, retractions, and flat-out admissions from former officials. They still believe the narrative MSNBC spoon-fed them like gospel. Let's talk fact. Robert Mueller's 2-year, $32 million investigation found no criminal conspiracy. John Dunham's probe confirmed the Steele dossier was junk fiction. Hillary Clinton's campaign admits to having it created. Brennan has admitted that he lied. Yet a majority of Democrats still think Trump was some kind of criminal asset because they were never told the truth to begin with. And they call us the uneducated ones. They call us in a cult. I've questioned Ted Cruz. I've questioned Cornell. I've questioned Trump. I have questioned politicians on all spectrums. They're the ones that I see that are blindly following, blindly believing everything, never questioning anything. And why does this matter now? Because this isn't just about 2016. It's about how a lie becomes a movement. Hands up, don't shoot. Sound familiar? It's about how a lie becomes a movement. And it shows how media can program half the country to see fabricated scandals as real history. This lie built the justification for surveillance, unmasking, lawfare, impeachment, and the whole post-2016 security state narrative. It radicalized millions into believing the end justifies any means, even if those means include censorship, targeting political opponents, and rigging debate rules. It's not disinformation, it's indoctrination. It's how propaganda hardens into worldview. And it's why the same people who believe in collusion still parrot threat to democracy while applauding the jailing of political enemies. Because when you never unplug from the matrix, you don't see the bars. You defend them. Let's not forget who pushed it. CNN, the New York Times, Adam Schiff, Rachel Maddow, intel officers. They didn't get duped. They were the dupers. They knew what they were doing, manufacturing a myth to justify a war on populism. The cost? Not national unity, public trust, and constitutional norms. So when people say that was years ago, why are you still talking about it? This is why, because half the country is still living in a delusion that's used to justify very real tyranny. And until we tear that lie out by the roots, it'll keep growing new branches. They don't just lie about Russia. They rewired the national brain, and tonight we're pulling the plug. Now, I told you I wanted to bring up a couple articles about the Democrats. A Democrat congressman set a mob on ICE agents, leading to a violent assault. Democrat of Homeland Security officials are accusing Representative Carbajala, a Democrat from, surprise, California, of setting a mob of left-wing rioters on an ICE agent, which landed the agent in an emergency room. At the time of the raid, a mob of about 500 rioters tried to impede the operation. Among the crowd was Representative Carbajal, to whom an ICE public affairs specialist gave his business card. DHS officials say that the Democrat representative showed the mob the business card, which they allege made a target of the ICE agent. Subsequently, the ICE agent was attacked by members of the mob, landing him in the emergency room with lacerations to his left arm after a rock was thrown at him that required stitches for the wound. The actions by Representative Carbajal are downright un-American. He dares to claim that his actions were simply congressional oversight, but doxing ICE personnel and inciting a mob of rioters to attack law enforcement is not oversight. Then Democrats wonder why all their efforts into anything is being blocked. It's an abomination. His actions sent an ICE employee to the emergency room. It's no wonder that ICE agents are facing a 700% increase in assaults when radical members of Congress like Cabral and LaMonica are openly encouraging and leading their supporters in assaulting law enforcement. Then it came across another one. This is how sick the Democrat Party is right now. Some Democrat strategists are so desperate for the party to start performing better that they're hoping for the economy to tank. A report from The Hill on Tuesday quoted several Democratic strategists reflecting on what they see as a dismal state of the Democratic Party. One said the party should be praying for a depression as a lifeline for their declining popularity following President Trump's 2024 election victory. This is a nightmare scenario for the Democrats right now, an anonymous strategist told the outlet. We better pray long and hard that the country is going to be in a fucking depression, because I don't know how else we find ourselves out of this mess. This is what the Democrats are hoping for. They're so hung up on the power, they're willing to destroy all of our lives. They're willing to watch this country go down in flames. And the media does not call it out. And not only do the polls show the Democrats' approval rating at a historic low, but they're still scrambling to identify a national leader almost a half a year after Trump returned to the White House, dynamics that are raising alarm bells in certain corners of the party. The Hill also cited on one recent poll conducted by Democrat Super PAC to unite the country between May and June, the survey found that the Democrat Party has lost ground since losing to Trump in November. Many of those polls said they found the Democrat Party out of touch, weak, and woke. It's hard to message when you're in the wilderness, which is where we're at right now. The spokesman said, when voters don't think you care about their issues and they don't think that you're going to fight for them, that becomes the problem. And them going out there and just screaming, the sky is falling, is not going to help them at all. And that's all that you see them doing anymore, is just out there screaming the sky is falling. I don't see the Democrat Party folding, but this is some big hits for them. All right. More truth, more receipts, and a whole lot more common sense coming up after this break. Don't go anywhere. This is the Reaver of Common Sense, and we are not done yet.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Ever dream of escaping the daily grind? At Escapist Travel and Tours, we make those dreams your reality. From breathtaking adventures to cultural immersions, we offer escapes tailored just for you. Let us take you to places where every moment feels like a new chapter in your life's adventure. Visit www.escapist.travel or call us today at 1-855-885-81776. Your escape awaits.
Attention, all patriotic women of faith. Yep, I'm talking to you, sis. Are you looking for high-quality, super soft apparel that reflects your love for country and your devotion to God? Look no further than Carry Girl Gear. Picture this. You rocking a tee so soft it's like being hugged by a cloud, all while showing off your love for God and country. Sounds dreamy, right? Well, welcome to reality, babes, because that's what we're all about here at Carry Girl Gear. We specialize in super soft tees, tanks, and more, designed specifically for the strong, patriotic woman who proudly wants to carry their message of faith and freedom. When you shop with us, you're not just getting a t-shirt. You're joining a community of like-minded women who are proud to wear their beliefs straight on their tees. So whether you're sipping sweet tea on the porch or leading the charge for faith and freedom, do it in a Carry Girl tee. Because life's too short for stiff, boring tees. CarryGirl.com, where faith and freedom meets fashion.
Come listen to BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon Radio Show. Live on select and exclusive Tuesday and Thursday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central, and 8 p.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Rumble channel, SHR Media YouTube channel, X, Twitch, Spreaker, and wherever great conservative podcasts are found. BZ, your conservative Sherpa, guides you through the maelstrom of Democrat, leftist, and globalist lies, chaos, deceit, and betrayal. Raised as a free-range child with dirt, stains, mud, and freedom, BZ broadcasts from North Idaho, comfortably surrounded by actual normal people. Jump into our plush, sumptuous, palatial, and resplendent chat room on rumble.com. Click on live chat to join. Now, with 37% more umbrage and 19% more bulbosity than previous shows, featuring delicious Liberty additives for the best in late-night conservatarian talk radio. BZ reminds you that with great beard comes great responsibility. No chinchillas were harmed, embarrassed, fat-shamed, or the focus of any sarcasm whatsoever in the making of this ad.
What is the Edge of Liberty? News, politics, commentary, sarcasm, alcohol, and high blood pressure. It's as American as a good revolution. So tune in every Monday and Friday at 12 Pacific, 3 p.m. on the East Coast on the SHR Media Network and KLRN Radio. For details, visit www.shrmedia.com.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless only here on shrmedia.com. Conservative media done right. Remember, hit that like button, smash the subscribe, and share this stream like your freedom depends on it, because it just might. This is the Reaver of Common Sense, and where truth lives and the nonsense dies screaming. So after years of believing in Russian ghosts, it's no surprise the Biden White House thought a robot pen could handle presidential duties. But pardoning criminals without even reading their names, that's not just lazy, that's dangerous. Pardons by robot pens. You heard that, right? On Biden's final day in office, his chief of staff reportedly approved a flurry of last-minute pardons, not by signature, but by Autopen. And now Biden himself has admitted to the New York Times that he didn't even personally review most of the names. Let that sink in. The President of the United States issued pardons without reading who he was pardoning. This isn't just reckless. It's a crisis of executive responsibilities. Pardons are one of the most solemn powers in the Constitution. They're supposed to be rare, deliberate, and deeply considerate. Instead, we got a rubber stamp from a machine and a shrug from a man who should have signed them. So who got pardons? That's the chilling part. According to the preliminary reports, many of the recipients were politically connected, campaign donors, or individuals tied to the same social circles as former administration officials. One name allegedly on the list is a foreign national tied to lobbying scandals. Another was linked to a fraudulent nonprofit that laundered COVID relief funds. And all of them got a free pass, not from a president who stood before the nation, but from a staffer who pushed print. Now let's talk legality. There's precedent for the use of an Autopen, but never on this scale, never with this level of detachment, and certainly not on a day one of the new administrations discovering they inherited a stack of unsigned, unvetted pardons. Legal scholars are divided, but constitutionalists are sounding the alarm. This may be a breach of the very clause that gives the pardon power in the first place. And where's the media? Imagine if Trump had done this. Imagine if Bush had. The cries of dictator, banana republic would be endless. Remember when Trump was heading out of office and all we fucking heard was how he was going to pardon his family. And how you can't pardon family members. That is against the law. Adam Schiff was out there running around doing it. The media was almost 24/7 talking about it. And what did Biden do? He pardoned his family. He pardoned his son. Not for crimes that they've been accused or even convicted of. Crimes that they may have done that haven't been discovered. Politicians were given pardons. Now, the issue I have with that is, well, you got to admit that you did the crime. The Supreme Court has ruled on it, and Biden's own DOJ stated that accepting a pardon is accepting guilt. Think about that. But with Biden, the same press that framed every Trump communications as fascism is now asking us to believe this is just business as usual. But it's not business as usual. It's governance by ghost signature. It's executive negligence dressed up as benevolence. It's a system so broken that most powerful office in the world can exonerate criminals without even knowing their names. We don't just have a leadership crisis. We have an accountability void. And until someone demands answer, this Autopen scandal isn't closed. It's just getting started. And you want to know how serious it is? Democrats refuse to even show up for the investigations, the committees. That speaks loudly. And speaking of danger, what happened when a political party normalizes chaos and treats opposition like enemies of the state? We are seeing it play out in real time. The rhetoric has gone from reckless to radical, and the consequences are here. The Washington Examiner nailed it. But they barely scratched the surface. Democrats' blood on your hand slogan and resist by any means rage have been mainstream for nearly a decade. These weren't isolated hot takes. They were the opening volleys of a rhetoric war designed to justify everything from riots to censorship to full-blown political violence. Remember 2018? The call to confront Republicans in restaurants, gas stations, and elevators. The media ran interference. Peaceful resistance, they said. Then 2020 happened. Cities burned. Courthouses were attacked. People died. And the same pundits applauded it, all as righteous anger. Fast forward to today. Posters circulating offering a $1 million bounty on Justice Clarence Thomas. Not fringe zines, mainstream, high production prints. Trump and J.D. Vance's picture were pictured with targets on their heads. That's not disagreement. That is a kill list. And where's the outrage from the left? Nowhere. Because their radical base doesn't see this as wrong. They see this as overdue. These are the same people that cheered the assassination attempt against Trump. We're upset that the shooters missed. Let's be blunt. The Democrat Party has lost control of its rhetoric. Resistance by any means morphed into justify any means. They have elevated language that strips their opponents of legitimacy. And when you do that long enough, violence becomes not just acceptable, but necessary in the minds of true believers. This is how revolutions spiral into purges. And what do we get in return? Gaslighting. We're told the real threat is Republicans undermining democracy. Meanwhile, it's their side calling for judicial assassinations, treating ICE agents like war criminals. Their side that weaponized intelligence agencies, jailed political opponents and opposition, and cheers corporate censorship of dissidents. This isn't just about heated language. It's about what that language makes possible. The next unhinged activist who takes a shot at a judge or politician won't come out of a vacuum. They'll come out of a media ecosystem that marinated them in hate, rewarded their paranoia, and never drew a line. And let's not forget the double standard. Had someone put a bounty poster on Sotomayor or Obama, the FBI would be knocking down doors before morning. But Clarence Thomas, silence. Because in their minds, he's not a justice. He's an enemy of their cause. When you hear phrases like words matter, remember they only matter to the left when those words come from you. Their words, their threats, their rage, that's just passion. This isn't passion. It's poison. And it's time we called it what it is. The moral rot at the heart of modern progressive politics. Let me say that again. We call it what it is. The moral rot at the heart of a modern progressive politics. Going through, see what we got left. Another American fight, or first win, flying under the radar. The latest economical data reveals what the media refuses to highlight. Native-born American workers are finally getting a break. After years of policies that prioritize foreign labor, multinational outsourcing, and corporate bottom lines over American livelihoods, we're finally seeing a reversal. Job creation is up. Wages are rising. And for once, inflation isn't eating it all. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, over 75% of the new jobs gained in the last quarter went to native-born citizens. That's not an accident. It's a direct result of tougher immigration enforcement, reshoring manufacturing, and fiscal policies that stop punishing productivity. These aren't Biden wins. They're Trump-era policies finally bearing fruit. And what do we get told by Democrats? The illegals are doing the jobs that Americans won't do. Bullshit. We've seen it time and time again now. When the jobs open up, they get flooded with Americans that are looking for work. We've heard from Democrats demonizing, demoralizing Americans, calling us lazy and all this other stuff. And we need the illegal immigrations to pick our fruit. We need the immigration. Bullshit. There was that, meat packing plant that had all those illegals. They got flooded with American-born People looking for work, applications just flooded in. That's a story the media is not going to tell you about. Energy independence also played a role. When you're not dependent on hostile nations for oil, you stabilize production costs across industries, from shipping to farming to logistics. That stability trickles down into wages. Add in the 2017 tax cuts that gave small businesses breathing room and encouraged expansion. That's the economical groundwork. That's the DNA of these gains. And here's the kicker. Real wages, meaning adjusted for inflation, are finally going up. That hasn't happened consistently since before COVID. And while corporate media reluctantly reports it, they never tie it to the right policies. They won't give credit to lower regulations, trade renegotiations, or the rebalancing of labor markets. Instead, they'll frame it as some miracle of Bidenomics, the same Bidenomics that gave us historic inflation just a year ago. But working families know the truth. When they can fill a tank, buy groceries, and still have some money left over, they know what changed. They don't need a CNN analyst to explain it. They feel it. Meanwhile, illegal immigration is down, job competition is rebalancing, and sectors like construction, logistic, and energy are seeing wage pressure shifts back towards American worker. It's the beginning of a correction, a sign that when you prioritize your own people, your economy reflects that. So no, Biden didn't build this. He inherited a foundation laid by someone who believed America should produce, hire, and reward its own. This isn't an accident. It's a course correction. And the people benefiting, they're not the elites. They're not the donors. They're the working class patriots who waited years for a break. This is what America First looks like in the job market. And you better believe it's just the beginning. We lit the fuse tonight. From ICE smashing trafficking networks to Biden rubber stamping pardons without even reading them, to Democrat rhetoric leading directly to real world assassination threats. This isn't business as usual. This is a regime unraveling in real time. And here's your call to action. What's the most dangerous political lie that still hasn't been exposed? What do you want ripped into the spotlight before Election Day? Hit me up on X at Jersey Joe Talks, tag me, or drop the answer under tonight's show post. The smartest, sharpest, or most savage take might get a short shout out next episode. We're not here to watch the fire burn. We're here to drag the arsonists into the light. From stage collusion hoax to sanctuary state cover-ups. From Biden's Autopen clown show to kill posters targeting a Supreme Court justice. This isn't the fringe anymore. It's the core of the modern left. They're not hiding it, so we're not pulling punches. It's the Reaver of Common Sense and the voice they can't cancel, the truth they can't outrun, and the fight they never saw coming. Want more? Every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. BZ Berserk Bobcat Saloon, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Mondays and Fridays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That will be 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Edge of Liberty with Sackhead Show. That's 1 hour from tonight. Sackhead Sean will be on. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Noon on the East Coast. Mission Ready Men with Big E Jackson. And of course, Reaver of Common Sense. Me, every Monday and Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the SHR Media, conservative media, done right. Stay sharp, stay bold, stay relentless. Jersey Joe out, and thank you for everybody in the chat. Everybody, have a great night.